Welcome back, everybody. We are joined by Kiwi Kid from Team Dignitas. Kiwi Kid, of course, with a win over Team Marn. First question for you, how did you prepare for that match?
We watched, I think everybody watched every VOD of Marn so far.
Okay.
And we just kind of, we kind of simulate, ban, pick, face. We try to win, actually, through banning and picking. And, yeah, that's pretty much what we did. I mean, only me and Scar actually played solo queue games to, warm up with the champions, honestly. But, yeah, basically, we just watched them. That's pretty much.
So the key to winning champion select, you don't care about the Jarvan ban?
Well, we kind of just wanted to ban out one specific person, so we were thinking about Echo at first. But then, we really wanted to see what Mega Zero played.
Right.
So we decided to ban him out.
So then, for your champion select strategies, I don't want you to give too many of them away.
Okay.
But you did seem to put 2 bans against Mega Zero. Was that a specific thing of being our champion select strategy is to get rid of Mega Zero, or is it more super counter focused and just picking strong champions for you guys?
No, it was more personal rather than actually. It was definitely player target ban. It wasn't actually champion target bans. So yeah.
Cool. So then your setup, you've been playing Elise now a number of times. To sort of describe to me your sort of top lane roster. They all seem to be pretty fight based.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much.
Sorry, not roster, but playstyle maybe.
I like the mobile ones. That's all I can really say. I really enjoy the mobile ones because mobility, it has the most chance for outplay, and I like to skirmish a lot rather than just brute force. I like to be tricky. Yeah, that's a good word. I really like the tricky champions.
Cool.
So your last 2 games, one against Complexity and this one against Marn, have been really one-sided games. Aside from, I'd say, one mistake. At the very start of this last game, you guys were invading the blue buff.
Oh, yeah.
And you ended up losing Crumbs. Do you want to walk me through what went wrong there?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, I collapsed too late.
Okay.
I just wanted to push Shannon, and what I should have said was just kind of stall blue, because if I push Shannon, he'll lose all those creeps, and I don't really care, because I think sacrificing blue in return for the top losing a whole 2 creep waves, including cannon minion, is worth it. But we didn't relate too quickly. Crumbs actually got the smite too low, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, obviously it wasn't worth it. So yeah, really my bad. I should have collapsed ASAP. Cool. I got really greedy. That's my fault for sure.
So for invades like that, are they just sort of a part of the Dignitas playbook, or is that a Marn specific thing? Oh, it's a red start jungler. We know we can steal blue.
Since we sent 2 mid, so we knew that support would be free, and then yeah, so we were might as well invade because we have the numbers advantage because there's 2 bottom, right? And we have 4 on the top, top side of the map, including mid. And yeah, we decided to invade. But yeah, like I said, I didn't collapse quick enough, so.
Oh, you guys managed to come back from that just fine. You crushed the rest of the game.
Yeah, that made me kind of worried, actually.
Well, now you're on a 10-game winning streak, and I know Crumbs and you guys aren't taking the winning streak too seriously, but now you have over 2 weeks off. The next time you're going to be playing LCS is going to be at MLG Dallas. What are you guys doing in the next 2 weeks to either make sure you keep your momentum, make sure you're still on the game, or maybe are you guys taking a break?
No, we're going to definitely still be scrimming every day, so yeah, no breaks. People might I know Crowns might have to be out of country, but we're still gonna scream every day. Yeah, no breaks really, which is fine. This is serious. We take it really seriously.
Would you consider? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I was just saying. I hope you guys can tell, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. Would you guys consider yourself prepared for the matches 2 weeks from now, or do you really need to keep doing homework to be ready for them?
No, we don't consider ourselves prepared yet. We still want to do homework. We still want to watch some VODs from this whole week.
Okay.
And definitely enlarge our champion pool because 2 weeks, a lot of things can happen in 2 weeks. We can be playing entirely different things, in other teams, of course, also.
Okay, so now you guys are squarely into first place in LCS. Because of this week, you're now the first place team in North America. Is that a big pressure on you guys?
No, not really. We don't. Yeah, Cutie. Cutie might flaunt it here and there, but we're just gonna do our thing. That's it.
All right.
So this is a question, and I know I'm a cutie pie, and Patoy might take this a little more seriously. COP is #1 in the KDA rankings on the website. How badly does I'm a cutie pie or Patoy want to dethrone him
Cutie
from
Pie,
there?
it keeps Cutie Pie from sleeping at night for sure. Yeah, we really he goes to practice late because he just dreams about COP and we have roster issues just because Cutie's like, thinks he's inferior to Cop.
Oh,
No, I'm
man.
kidding. But, yeah, or am I? I'm not sure. But, yeah.
You can never quite tell with him. So.
Yeah. No, but Cop played really well today,
That's
for sure. I want to give him a shout out there.
And, of course, you guys played amazingly as well. Once again, 5-0 on the week. Congratulations on your wins in the
Thank you
first
so
place.
much.
And now it's going to be time for our final match of the day with Vulcan versus Good Game University. Vulcan had a rough start in the LCS, but they found their stride in Week 3. Let's take a look at how Zuna and the boys have adjusted to their new surroundings.
I definitely think that just because we moved in the house, we're getting a lot better. And just from practicing all together, just synergy just keeps getting better and better.
We're all in the same room, so it's easier getting everyone together.
There's a lot of teamwork, more communication.
We usually wake up at around like noon or 1.
I'm the one who always wakes up kind of as the kitchen's a mess and like cleans it up.
I don't like to clean or anything, so I use disposable everything.
Zuna's like a walking sitcom.
Yeah, they always try and copy me whenever I do something funny, but they always fail.
I try to imitate it, but he always tells me I do it wrong.
Our house is pretty much every room just has a bed.
I don't think anyone would want to see Zuna or Ken's room. It's pretty ridiculously messy.
That's what happens when you come in the room with Zuna.
It'd be nice to have a sofa in the house. Like, without it, like, there's no place to nap.
It's just a bed and laundry.
Or my bedroom's right here. These came with the house, so don't judge me for it, but you could judge me for keeping them. We're going to my room. I got my Ginger over here staying with us for a few weeks.
I'll say we're definitely really close friends after moving in.
We all get along really well.
Playing with these 5 guys, it helped me realize that I made the right decision by moving out here. I'm having a lot of fun, but also, more importantly, I'm having fun doing something I love with like people I've become close to.
I definitely think doing this as a living, becoming a pro, playing games that you love, there's nothing better.
It's a pretty amazing experience. I get to meet a lot of people and they all enjoy the same thing as me.
I think in like 10 years, everyone will look back on this and hopefully it'll just be like eSports is just like a casually accepted idea. But being in the beginning of it all, it's pretty crazy.
All right, my turn.
GGU is trying to stave off disaster after a 1-10 start. So for this game on their side, it's a lot of trouble. Coming into this week, they thought if they went 5-0, they could go up to 500. Now it's trying to stave off going 1-11, I think, is what they're going to be. So it's going to be tough.
And of course, their only win, though, was against Vulcan in Week 2. So certainly they've kind of started things off on the right foot. We'll see if they can make that happen. Of course, Vulcan themselves, 4-8, are looking pretty good. They're at 6th place right now. See if they can elevate themselves up.
Yeah, but I mean, GGU beat Vulcan. Vulcan beat CLG. CLG has beaten Curse, and Curse has beaten Dignitas. So really, anything could happen. GGU, with their 1 win, taking a shot at everybody. But they did lose that heartbreaker to TSM yesterday. Mandatory Cloud was playing really, really well in that game. He went 5-2-12 on Lux, and he was destroying Reginald Zareth in every turn that game until the game turned around. So he's looking to be strong again this game.
Yeah, and of course, let's take a look at the lineups real quick. On the blue side, of course, we have Vulcan. Psycho Sid in the top lane. Smithy is in the jungle. Mandatory Cloud, the mid lane player. We just talked about him, of course. Zuda on AD carry with the best laugh in the world. Of course, Muffin Cutie on support.
And on the red team, we're going to have Good Game University. Zion Spartan in the top lane, Nintendodex in the jungle, Jinte in mid lane. Don't Mash Me, you can see on the front of your screen here, and Bloodwater right next to him on support.
Now, it's going to be, of course, a very interesting match. We talked about the fact that these guys have traded games back and forth. GGU really not the start they were looking for, but we will see if they can do it. And, you know, there's kind of some interesting things going on here because they've been playing... I'm trying to think if they've been playing like really similar champions, but certainly they've, like when you look back at like Marn's games and Vulcan's games, there were some very predictable bans that were available, right? Like Mega Zero, Renekton getting removed every single time, Mandatory Cloud here taking Needly basically whenever possible. Yeah. There's a lot of predictions available for these guys.
So I think Mandatory Cloud would be like the target ban for Vulcan, it seems, because he's the one that's been dominating the most on them. Needly and Lux have been his 2 strongest by far. I haven't seen him succeed on much else than that, so I'd wonder if Good Game University is going to take that one on. I mean, it's been such a tough year for Good Game University.
Yeah.
And their essentially sub in Jinte has to go up against Mandatory Cloud. And I know Don't Mash Me has came out and said, like, our team needs to stop using not having Shifter as an excuse because they've had these lineup changes for so long. But at the end of the day, it has been 4 of the same players the entire season, and they haven't produced the results. So you can tell the frustration is mounting for these guys, and they really need to come back strong here.
Well, of course, we'll see if they can do it. And I was going to say something, I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, so Vulcan, I want to talk about them a bit because at the very beginning of the season, I remember talking about the players, and basically, ManCloud, I'd always known, was like a really high elo player, very, very skilled, and like wasn't turning in results for a little while. And basically, since week 3, he turned into a beast. He started getting all the kills. He started sort of playing the ManCloud that we expected him to be. His players in interviews, his teammates were saying that ManCloud's probably our best player, but he's woefully inconsistent, and he seemed like he's turned on the consistency.
It's so easy for them if they have ManCloud being consistent, right? Because when ManCloud is destroying mid lane, it allows them to get Zuna going as well. Because Xmithy can just camp bottom lane, crush the lane over and over again, get Zuna fed. Then they now have the 2 carries, right? CLG's had some issues when Doublelift is the only one carrying. They need to get the second one going. But if Mandatory Cloud gets himself going, then Zuna can take over. And Psycho Sid is actually an incredibly resilient laner. That's the thing he doesn't really get enough credit for because he doesn't carry games because they don't give him the opportunity to, but he always holds his own.
Yeah, and they've always said that he will be able to win a 1v1 without ever any jungle support. We'll see if that happens here. We're into Champion Select. It's, again, 4th game of the day. Vulcan on the blue side, Good Game University on red. First pick and ban, and they have taken their sweet time looking at it. 8 seconds left to choose, and they're going to get rid of Vi right away. The Needly immediate ban against ManCloud. No shock there.
They are not letting those spears get through. We've seen Needly in the last 2 games. It's honestly had mixed results. If they're getting going, the Needly takes it through for the rest of the game. But they did not go for a Lux ban. I wouldn't expect that to be first picked. That's something that Vulcan can let slide down if Mandatory Cloud wants to go for it again. Singe ban is smart. The Kale ban is pretty smart. The Twitch ban actually surprised me a little bit against Don't Mash Me because he's actually been getting stomped on his Twitch. Every time it seems like he's been opening up, he dies immediately. But
yeah,
they still did that, I guess, out of respect.
Well, and of course now Vulcan have stolen away Elise. I know Psycho Sid is good at that champion, but Nintendude has played that in the jungle whenever possible, and his style is to gank very heavily, get his lanes open. By stealing that away, it might just help Vulcan get that Zuna sort of carry train started. So Good Game University now has to think about what their 2 picks are going to be. That sort of giant triumvirate of junglers that most teams care about, Xin Zhao, Jarvan, they're still up.
Xin Zhao might be the guy they go for, and I wonder what Zion Spartan's going to play in this game because they're the ones who banned out Needly. Maybe he'd go with a Rumble because he wants to match up with WIP, and Rumble gets banned against him a lot. He's also pretty good at Kali player. He has tried to play Fizz, and I'd say he's done poorly on Fizz, it's safe to say, in most of these games. They're probably scared away from that one, but with the Sona and Xin Zhao, that is a consistent opening set of picks for Good Game University.
Okay, and we'll see what comes up out of this one. Really, they've not shown too many cards, just kind of the jungle card and the support card, but they're safe picks overall. Vulcan's turn, of course. Lux was available. He said it wasn't going to be first picked. That was accurate, but as far as I can remember, anytime ManCloud has had Needly banned, he'll just take Lux.
Yeah.
The Alistair showing right here. Muffin Cutie's been locking that one in a lot throughout the season, of course, as well, taking that cue from Patoy. It's Vulcan's turns to look at carries. I know Zuna normally plays long range. We'll see if Kog'Maw might be the choice here.
Yeah, I think you're right about the Kog'Maw. And if they go for the Kog'Maw, Alistair, they could also do the Hecarim, because then they have the Bull, Horse, and Void Puppy lane.
Nice.
Which is just a bunch of stuff.
They've even got a Spider.
Yeah.
Like, they're almost all animal-based.
It's the Zoo team.
This is Team Zoo.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That is amazing. We'll see if that comes up here. Of course, GGU are lame and humanoid right now, so whatever. Wow, yeah, right, and a human AD carry. Thanks, GGU. You're good at this. So Sivir being considered right here. We haven't seen her much this season, if at all that I can remember.
No, I don't think we've seen her in the LCS. I think Sivir's still quite strong, actually. She gets the auto attack reset. It's just a matter of getting into a fight, and the team utility she provides with On the Hunter ultimate is actually really, really strong. The fact that he hasn't locked it in yet makes me think he's kind of like, heh, Sivir, no one would do that, and then swap away. But I wish he would do it.
Well, we'll see what happens. He certainly clicked it for now. Kali is being considered. He knows he's up against, well, I guess he would guess he's up against Elise. It's not a guarantee, of course. Just most often that Elise is top lane. Mash me. No, he's going to go for Ezreal.
Damn.
He's going to be nice and safe against Assassins. Excuse me here. Jarvan's going to be considered here. That's so just for the fact that he clicked Jarvan makes me think they're actually thinking of getting a jungler here now.
Yeah. Well,
course,
they have to get a jungler here now. It's their last 2 picks.
Well, as opposed to Elise being
unless it's an Elise jungle, but really Nintendo Dex is the only guy to be going for the Elise jungle. Zuna would be a thing for Xmithy, but So would Hecarim work in this situation? I'm trying to think, because Ezreal would be able to dash kind of right away from him. Zion Spartan's probably playing the Akali. He'd be able to fly off, and there we go. It's the Jarvan and the Lux. So no giant horsey lane. They only have 3
they picked humans.
wild creatures, but I like it.
All right, well, there's the robot being picked in for Good Game University. Mid laner is going to be Orianna versus Lux. This is a matchup we've seen a few times, actually, throughout LCS. And it's interesting because, like, the lane matchups, like, half of them are very, very similar in a way. It's like long-range poke guys in mid, assassins up top, and Demacian frontliners with pole arms in the jungle.
Those have been the most popular junglers, it seems. Just the Demacians are invading each other. But here we go. Good Game University's team composition. This is one of the nicest team compositions I've seen them run. Zion Spartan's going to really be able to go in and dive, but he has a buddy in Nintendo X. Jinte will also be able to combo really well with that, and Don't Mash Me has solid protection and counter initiation from Sona. So that is a solid, well-defined team comp for GGU. Vulcan does have the potential great bot lane ganking, and they also have the pick potential for Mandatory Cloud's Lux. So they're going to be the ones sitting back. They've done the Lux Elise combination quite a few times. They're going to be the ones more likely to want to sit back and poke. GGU is going to be the ones that want to dive in and initiate.
All right, we'll see if, of course, they can get by those bindings. Last time we saw Reginald, a bit of a solar panel, you called it, I believe.
Yeah, I called him a solar panel. He was
I stole your
attracting
joke.
the light bindings.
He was definitely attracting the light bindings. We'll see if that ends up being someone taking those this game. Once again, we're seeing the 4 and 8 Vulcan look to kind of raise themselves up in the standings. Good Game University looking for win number 2 here. That would put them at both wins would have been over Vulcan if that happens here. You can see Vulcan up on your screen, Muffin QD closest, Zuna right behind him. Loading screen is underway. Like, we are about to get into this. I want to know your guys' predictions, actually. Hit us up on Twitter, at LOL Esports. Final game of the day. Who's going to win this one? Let us know. I want to hear it.
Final game is Super Week, actually.
Final game is Super Week,
20 games over 3 days in North America. These guys finally reaching the end of it. All 8 teams are involved. Then we're on a 2-week hiatus before we go to MLG Dallas. This North American LCS is awesome.
Of course it is. And, of course, don't forget that Europe, of course, is going to be going on as well. Their Super Week just started. They've got another 12 games as well for Saturday and Sunday. So wake up early in the morning and watch those games as well. Or if you're European, watch them at a normal person's time.
Dude, being an LCS fan is like a full-time job.
It's yeah, right?
You got to be up at every hour of the day watching these games. It's nuts.
It'll be fun. Here we go. You can see Vulcan actually grouping up a little bit up towards the top side of the map. Psycho Sid up and ranged for him. Flag goes down. Smithy looking for a ward. They're just chasing Nintendo out of his jungle. There we go. Muffin Cutie was going to get the ward. Thing is, there's people nearby. Can they kill it in time? Oh, they left. They could have pulled Zion Spartan in to last hit that ward.
Nintendo X got the 3 hits in himself. And actually, if Nintendo X would have put a point in 3 Talon Strike right when that ward hit, he could have gotten the first auto attack reset and killed it himself. But he was expecting Zion Spartan to come over and help him as well. So, unfortunately, there's 2 deep wards inside of Good Game University's jungle right now.
And actually, Zuna getting kind of pushed around by Mashmi, actually taking a bit of punishment himself. Forced to just keep running backwards. We'll dodge the Mystic Shot by standing still. And I actually want to touch back on one thing that happened on that little jungle invade towards the mid lane. Muffin Cutie put an Explore ward, that 60-second Mastery ward, in the mid lane side brush as they ran in to watch for counter ganks. So like, as they ran up, they dropped that down just to make sure they could make the beeline and not get caught. So I like that move. They had that whole sort of setup planned out.
So, did Bloodwater start with an Explorer ward as well, Freak? If he did, he's already placed it and it's been gone, but he definitely has the utility spec because he's got the Total Biscuit of Rejuvenation. So the only big difference that we've seen in the wards here is that Vulcan will have vision of Good Game University's red buff, whereas Good Game University is pretty much going blind.
All right, we'll see if that ends up, mattering much at all. Zion Spartan, we're actually seeing him clear out double golems himself as he walks up to that top lane. Right now we're watching Smithy start on his lizard buff. No one looking to steal that one. Nintendo's going to get his blue. We'll see him run around the jungle as well. But no invades really had happened here now in the jungle. Gold is pretty equal. Lanes look standard as well. 1v1 top lane, 1v1 in the mid lane, and a nice old 2-on-2 in the bottom. So just nice old school League of Legends lanes.
Laners get to fight again. No more triple tower pushing right at the start of the game. Still going to happen occasionally. It's a totally tactical play by these guys, but it's definitely calmed down as Super Week has progressed here. And in this mid lane, I really want to see how Mandatory Cloud deals with Jinte, because we saw this matchup yesterday, and the Orianna did get a fairly large minion kill advantage just because of the early on trading being better. I wonder if Mandatory Cloud can outplay this lane, because I think Orianna should have a slight edge.
Well, he's definitely shielding pretty well, has learned that at level 2. Mandatory Cloud is looking for those pokes. They've got, of course, a lot of potions themselves. A flash there for Jinte. And Cloud's so far keeping up. We'll see how this pans out. But you're just kind of seeing them at odds. Good Game University, they're pushing right now, trying to put Zuna down to his turret and they've got good ward coverage, so they're not afraid of the Jarvan ganks just yet. Jarvan actually looking for something in the mid lane. He's actually flag tossed over. He bypassed the ward that might have spotted him going into this brush. GGU does not know he's here.
So they're hoping Jintei gets a little bit aggressive, or Mandatory Cloud can land a light binding. They go for it. There's it landing.
They land it. Jintei's going to have to flash the flag toss. There it is. Flash is burned, but that is all you can really expect on your first time for the gank. Smith is going to turn himself back around. Psycho Sid has pushed his top lane. Zion Spartan taking a bit of poke himself. Still, I'm going to keep him alive a little bit. We'll see how that pans out. Q auto attack, 40 gold. There we go. See what he can do.
And now we see Nintendo X did try to get a little deep into Xsmithy's jungle, but he couldn't make it. And this jungle invade is now going towards the bottom lane. Neither team is really going to get caught out by wards. Xsmithy could come in completely clean, but he would get met by Nintendo X. So this could actually be a very dangerous gank for Xsmithy more so.
There we go, the flash pulverize in onto Mashmi. He's taking a exhaust the pulverize as well. The flag toss will not land. 2 hits to go to kill Mashmi, and he's going to get out instead. A nice, I think it was flash got him away from the flag toss gank, but there we go, the pressure from Mancloud on a Jintei as well.
Mashmi got punted around in that fight. Muffin Cutie really took Don't Mash Me out of that fight. That was a dangerous approach by Xsmithy, but because of the job that Vulcan did just making Don't Mash Me unable to attack, they were able to come away for that fight with nearly a kill.
Very, very impressive stuff. We're seeing actually a small minion lead small gold lead from minions for Good Game University. So for what that's worth, they're up 200 gold just from the early game stuff. Psycho Sid pushing up onto Zion Spartan. Bottom lane, of course, has reset itself. Mid lane still 27-26, so neck and neck here as well. Really everybody going fairly close to equal everywhere on the map.
Yeah, this is definitely not a game that is anywhere close to even really having a leader yet. The lanes are very close in the minion kills. The junglers are matching themselves. The early game wards have died. None of the level 1 plays resulted in any real advantages, and the lane matchups themselves are probably pretty even. So this could be for quite a battle. If you remember the first time these teams played, it was actually a really great game with the poke card.
It was, and Good Game University had that Ezreal sitting there at the bottom lane, just sort of farming up against Psycho Sid for a very long time until they could turn that poke game. Smithy looking for a second gank here. They're going to find Bloodwater.
Oh,
there is the pulverize. The headbutt into the wall. He's going to flash, and the flag toss misses because of it. Bloodwater taking a bit more damage, but he will get out.
That gank took a little bit of patience for Vulcan if they wanted to make that one work. Zuna actually had a tremendous ooze that he threw out on Kog'Maw, because once Bloodwater flashed away from the headbutt, it still would have been in range for Xsmithy to knock him up, but because Xsmithy tried to chain before the flash, he missed it. And now he's coming around the back for a potential tower dive, but wow, they desert Don't Mash Me, and they might get him.
There, the pulverize, the headbutt. There's the damage on a Mash Me. He actually slightly misses the knockup. However, he is still a bit alone underneath the turret. They do not have turret aggro. Actually, Vulcan will say, nope, not ours at all. A lot of damage came out from Bloodwater. Smithy getting dropped quite low. And, you know, typical Smithy camps that bottom lane, but will not find a kill.
Yeah, that is the second, that's the third gank, I guess, he's done there. The second trip to the bottom lane for Xsmithy, and it hasn't granted Zuna anything yet. So I think that Ezreal pick was really smart for Good Game University, because they know that Vulcan loves ganking bot lane so much, and they wanted to pick the safest AD carry possible. The Psycho Sid just trades a bunch with Zion Spartan.
Yeah, Zion Spartan initiated on that one, just jumped in with the ultimate, of course, level 6 on both these guys. Psycho Sid's still going to take a bunch of punishment, getting, ooh, wow, forced a flash to his turret. Yeah, wow, nice aggression there from Zion Spartan.
And that's the Akali fear that he's putting in. The fact that Psycho Sid didn't get the early game edge is a little alarming for Vulcan's top lane chances. He's either going to lose a bunch of tower damage or get tower dove, because Nintendo X is coming around the back with Xin Zhao, but Vulcan spells are coming, Mancloud there as well.
The thing is that Nintendo had warded the Golem Brush on his way over, saw Mancloud coming, said, nope, not going to walk into a 2v3, thank you very much. Got his way out. They see Xsmithy running towards the mid. Nintendo knows both these guys are going to be here, and he spots them walking into the brush. He knows there's 2 men right there in the mid.
Here comes Orianna.
Jintei's going to run back. They're going to go for the ult. Hits them both. Mancloud taking a bunch of pressure. Pops barrier, pops his shield as well. Light binding just whiffs onto Jintei, but he will go for the ult. Nice pressure. If the binding had hit, I think they could have killed Jintei.
So close. Jintei barely dodging out from that one, and that was a nice flank down by Good Game University. Nintendo X did use his vision control to brush to land a pretty good counter assault, but Bloodwater actually getting caught on the bot lane, might get pulverized.
Yeah, gets headbutted, gets pulverized into the air. Here comes Kog'Maw looking for Don't Mash Me as well. Where's the fight going to go? They get the slow into Bloodwater. He only has exhaust, no flash at all. Mash Me going for damage on a Muffin Cutie. Zuna still going and puts his exhaust down. Bloodwater taking more damage. Xsmithy is from behind as well. Mash Me comes in, does a lot to Muffin Cutie. Both supports running back.
Man, look at this. 600 gold advantage now for GGU. I guess that kind of has to do with how much X-Smithy has been roaming around and finding unsuccessful ganks. He's not really been able to aid his lanes too much. And even though Nintendude is a low level himself, he does have a fairly larger amount of minion kills, so the lane's still actually very close. Not really sure where this one's going to turn yet, but GGU does have the farm advantage early.
Yeah, First Blood could turn this gold lead on its head either way right now. We'll see if that happens. Nintendude had a pink ward. Is going to be Blend coming into onto Mandatory Cloud, but Smithy is right there, and he will not find the gank. Not going to go into that turret.
And check this out. It's a Hex Drinker early for Zion Spartan on Akali. I've seen a couple top-rated Akalis do this. I know Voyboy was doing it on his stream as well. It's just, Akali can do pretty good hybrid damage, and he's powering up right now against the Elise lane.
Oh, Smithy gets a smite steal that Nintendude tried to steal from him. Of course, Nintendude not finding that one. Smithy going to run back. But it did force him from going on a Man Cloud, a bit of a lead there. Ezreal comes by, does not land into anything. Luxult goes, Nintendude is low, Lactos forced to flash. Shield comes in from Jintei. Xmithy right on top of Zion Spartan, good damage there, but a nice shield. There we go, he's gonna keep going on this one. Xmithy, no health left, and that's gonna be First Blood. Zion Spartan flashes away. Can he find a way to escape? Repel from Elise, shield there from Orianna, but it tethers back, and so he does not get the dissonance. Zion Spartan's Hex Drinker has been popped. Here comes Jintei again, he's got blue buff, puts the shield back down. Shockwave comes off, but he's been stunned by Elise. Zion Spartan still takes damage, and Psycho Sid will find the return kill.
Zion Spartan manned up to get in on that one, but he was not able to pull the retreat because there's 4 people. Now Zuna down bot, maybe getting dove.
He does cleanse away the Sona ult. The tower does so much damage to Mashme, though, that Zuna looks for an ult, will not quite find the damage there. Oof, geez, these trades are back and forth all day.
Yeah, that was a real scary moment for Zuna because everyone knew that Muffin Cutie had been up top on Alistair to help with that invade, so it was a nice aggression move by Good Game University. It's just Zuna popped his cleanse at just the right moment, and despite being deserted by Muffin Cutie, only had to burn his cleanse after that crescendo.
And of course, it's worked for him so far. You're seeing that. It's one of the stories we talked about a little bit is the AD carries skipping Vampiric Scepter, and Zuna, well, he's got 6 lifesteal from Quince, and he picked up a pickaxe right away, plus having an Alistair in his lane. So once again, Zuna looks like to be grabbing the very late Vampiric Scepter, if that's to be believed. Yeah. 67 to 71 on the bottom lane. Good Game University, they feel like they have an advantage on the map. They're going for a dragon, but it is in vision.
So we'll see if Vulcan can come around the back. Lux does have the laser, uses it for harass, and this means to me that Vulcan actually wants to fight before the dragon goes down.
All right, they're going to go in, look, a couple bits of damage comes in, but there comes Zion Spartan, a lot of damage from him. Nintendo will pick up the dragon. That is theirs completely clean. Dissonance goes by. GGU will disengage. 1-for-1 in kills. The dragon goes to Good Game University.
Feel like when Zion Spartan jumped out onto Mandatory Cloud, the fight was kind of abandoned by Vulcan. That's when they decided to disengage. GGU did do a good job spiking that dragon down, making sure it couldn't be stolen. They're coming out pretty strong here, hoping to pick up their first win of Super Week.
And it's going to look pretty good for them so far. Zuna, they're still on the bottom lane. Every other lane matching up fairly closely. 75-71 AD carry, 77-77 in the mid, 59-55 up top. The only one of the real big difference, Nintendude X. You can see his gold 400 above Xmithy.
And it's still not a big enough lead to really say someone's won because
sure,
it hasn't stretched to 5 or 10K, and we haven't seen the team fights yet. These teams are kind of refusing to have big engagements with each other. Both teams are actually, I'd say, over-warding a little bit. They probably don't need that many wards in the river, so they are over-expensing themselves, but that's just making sure that we're not seeing ganks, because at 11 or 12 minutes in, especially since Vulcan's not looking to spam team fights, they've got 7 wards on the map, and that's not even having a Sightstone on their team, so all of those wards are really expensive for them. It might end up costing them later when the team fights come in.
We'll see if that ends up being a factor. Nintendude going into his own jungle, grabbing the lizard buff for himself. No contention there. That's going to be his pretty cleanly. Use his smite on that one. Smithy in his own jungle. You're just seeing them clear out and go for wards, or not wards, sorry, but kills right now. The minion kills, monster kills, gold, all that kind of stuff. Psycho Sid still matching up against Zion Spartan. A little bit of harass going back and forth between these guys. There we go. The initiation is in from Zion Spartan. Nice cocoon. Psycho Sid's going to run back into spider form for a bit of extra MR. Will survive that battle. Vulcan pushing in for this turret. They've got a nice minion wave there. Zuna going to put out some damage. We can see it's down about 2/3 health. Nintendude shows up in that top lane, but he's been spotted by a ward. Now sits in that top brush.
I wonder what Muffin Cutie's item build is going to be like this game. I remember in their Heartbreaker vs TSM yesterday, He actually was losing items as the game moved on because he kept buying too many wards. He ended up selling his Vamp Scepter back because he was going for his Zeke's Herald. Considering that Muffin Cutie's not even moving towards a Sightstone, tells me he's going for here and now, and here they might dive.
There we go. We're going to see Muffin Cutie take a whole bunch of punishment. Still actually in turret aggro. Had to finally drop that one at the end there. Burned Exhaust, but Mashpee got away. Now, meanwhile, the top lane, Psycho Sid lands Cocoon. Nintendo's going to look for something right there. The Light Binding comes off, though, because ManCloud has shown up. Zion is stealth, but now tries to run away. Nice jump to a minion. They're going to try to get away. The Repel puts them pretty much into range. Hexbreaker has been popped. They jump back into Psycho Sid. He flashes out. ManCloud puts a shield onto himself. He is alive against Nintendo. He's going to go for another Light Binding. Will not quite land that one. They will not find a kill on either side.
This is just a bunch of trades in a game. The Orion ult misses. Ooh. Crescendo gets cleansed.
Yeah, that's going to be Zuna trying to run away. He still has flash as well. He's going to be safe. Every fight's been like this, right? They're fighting and then no one quite dies.
Neither team is going all in enough, or they're just not aggressing each other quite at the right moment. And now it's a 3v2 push on the bottom, but Xmithy is able to clear the waves back. Maybe we'll see the first tower of the game.
Oh, a lot of damage onto Xmithy. He's going to Q, drop out the cannon minion. Turret very, very, very low. They will try to go for a bit more. They have to run back here. GGU University still 3-stung. ManCloud finds Nintendo in the top lane. Really good pickup there. Psycho Sid, I believe, part of that one as well. He's recalling back. It's a good pickup.
That was the pink ward control in the top lane coming in big so that Mandatory Cloud roamed and landed a good Light Binding on Nintendo deck. So that is the good news of all the wards that they've spent, but really, with the amount of money they dumped into those wards, I don't know if that kill's worth it. Let's take a look at how that actually happened. So he was just waiting behind line of sight, lands the binding,
oh man,
in just to fucking smithereens.
You didn't even see anyone on the map either. Psycho Sid was in the brush the whole time. Jinte grabs blue buff himself. We're just seeing ManCloud do the same thing for himself. They're pretty happy. Zion Spartan, though, is like, all right, Nintendo, get out of my lane. You're just giving him more gold. Let me just take this one myself. We're seeing a 2,000 gold lead here for GGU. Despite the kill lead, they are definitely in control of the map's objectives. One turret and a dragon to their credit. 15 minutes in. Once again, GGU looking for win number 2 in the LCS. They do not want to end Super Week 0-5. And right now they're poised to do it, but we'll see. Anything has happened in this game, in these games overall, really.
Yeah,
Vulcan knows all about one game's turning around.
This is a slow game, right? It's actually eerily similar to the last game Good Game University and Vulcan played against each other because at one point GGU did have about a 5,000 gold advantage. Or no, Vulcan had a 5,000 gold advantage on GGU. I was backwards there for a second. And it was GGU who was able to turn it around with the poke comp. This is almost exact reverse because the poke/catch from Vulcan might be able to siege out GGU, especially since they've had so much trouble initiating on both sides that if neither team can fully start a fight, Lux's wave clear might be enough to keep them back from the game when the game comes to that kind of pushing situation. And since it's 0 turrets to 1 right now, about to be 1-1, this game could be approaching a similar circumstance.
All right, we're going to see, for no lack of aggression, of course, turrets going down left and right here, now 2-1 in GGU's favor. These guys have been searching for fights all game. It's just their ability to escape that Ezreal pick you praised earlier. So smart, of course, Jarvan not quite finding the knockups. A little bit of trades over the top lane. There was the team fight for Dragon, and Zuna still happily staying in this bottom lane with Muffin Cutie, his support, Alistair, accelerating himself towards late game. 130 minion kills on that Kog'Maw. Smithy standing right on top of a ward, is going to get spotted and not get much here.
Yeah, and Jarvan just hates Ezreal. He can't really get his hands on him that well, and it's pretty much just for the damage when he Cataclysms on top of him. You can't get flag tosses or Dragon Strikes on him at all as a Jarvan player, so Don't Mash Me is ridiculously safe unless he gets caught by Light Binding, and even then, he'll be able to cleanse out of it as long as he doesn't catch them too frequently. But now, Vulcan looking to force something. Here comes the fight we've been waiting for.
They go into Nintendo X, the ult goes on to everybody. Xmithy's going to fall down so quickly, but the ult comes back there. Zion Spartan is exhausted trying to find something. He will not find Xmithy. He's going to survive. Zion's actually going to go down. Nintendo goes back in, though. What will they find? Dissonance is off. The ult onto Muffin Cutie. He's taking a bunch of punishment, a couple more attacks to go. Ignite the shield. Is it going to be enough? Yes! Jinte picks up the kill on a Muffin Cutie. They've traded 1 for 1.
These are the signs of like when a poke comp is going to work or not. Like how hard does GGU have to go into Vulcan before they can get a kill? They traded 1 for 1, but if they can take an objective off of this, it'll be a good sign. Let's see if Vulcan can poke him out.
All right, the ManCloud really in a bit of a rough spot, taking some damage. Ult comes off from Cog. That's going to be the smite away on Dragon. That is picked up for GGU, their second Dragon now this game. The global objective's definitely on their favor. Psycho Sid, misses a stun on Jinte.
These guys are just chugging back consumables. This is the second red elixir I've seen Zion Spartan pick up As Mandatory Cloud tries to spike out Jinte in the mid lane, but all the wards that Vulcan placed before Sightstone and all the elixirs that GGU was drinking down, whatever the gold tally at the top is showing, it's actually fairly misleading just because of the amount of money these guys are dumping into the consumables.
Okay, and we'll see if that, and you've mentioned that, yeah, a few times now. I mean, really, the money is going down. I want to sort of bring that one back to the CLG EU WE game from the World Championships, where they had lost, like, all of their money on wards, and the Oracles starved them out until they could finally get Baron. We'll see if that kind of similar situation happens here. Nintendo'd back on his red buff. That's his pretty securely. Ezreal glances across the map. He's going to farm the top lane a little bit. Just a few minions there. Minions dead in the mid lane. Looks like no major turrets are going to go down in the past few minutes, or maybe even soon. We'll see. Zuna left alone to farm the bottom lane. That's a good place for him. Late game Kog'Maw, always a scary thing.
Yeah, the thing we'll have to track is the actual completed items on these guys, because you look at Mandatory Cloud versus Jinte in the mid lane, and even though Mandatory Cloud has 1,000 gold and is going back to shop, it's the Athene's Unholy Grail to what is nearly an Athene's Unholy Grail and a death cap for Orianna. Of course, he skipped his Sorcerer's Shoes, so he's kind of getting there a little bit faster, but that's a pretty big advantage by itself. You look at the AD carries, Zuna versus Don't Mash Me. It's an Infinity Edge versus a Bloodthirster and a Zeal. So Don't Mash Me, despite being down in minion kills and being even in gold, has a slight edge in the items right now, and it's just... It's going to be we're going to have to track this throughout. The biggest advantage, of course, is the Lock of the Iron Solarion and Tendu Dex over X-Smithy, and that is jungle experience and the 2 dragons, that plus the 1 turret extra that they've been able to take.
All right, so let's see what kind of other advantages can be gained here. Good Game University have been at their most aggressive when Dragon is up, but speaking of aggression, they have actually moved into the jungle a little bit. Jinte looks for ManCloud, not going to combo him out. Of course, ManCloud does turn around right there. What is Good Game University going to look for? They've pulled Don't Mash Me up from the bottom lane. They've got 4 men in the mid lane, including Zion Spartans Akali. They're going to move on forward. This turret is at 3/4, but they're going to push on forward pretty hard. Oh, the wave clear from Lux completely stops that push from going anywhere, and all of GGU has to turn right back around.
They haven't been able to find the fight they've wanted. This is GGU. They do have the gold lead. They're able to take the objectives, but I feel like taking a dragon every 6 minutes isn't enough to really give them the advantage they need. So now they're starting to invade the jungle. They just steal the blue buff. They're hoping to find a fight at some point. Eventually, they'll be turning towards the Baron, but for now, I think it's about taking that mid-turn.
Let's see if they can get it. Of course, Lux just so much wave clear on her. The minions back down again. Vulcan trying very hard to keep their own turret alive. Most of the jungle actually in shambles on Vulcan's side of the map, whereas GGU can always turn around and grab that themselves. Sona actually was given the Golem buff, so she has a lot of heals to put out there. Had contributed to the death of the Golem on the invade a little while ago. So a lot of support there, a lot of mana to spend. Jinte's going to grab their own blue buff. There we go, the buff steal did go in their favor quite a bit. Zuna and ManCloud now sharing farm in the mid lane. It's a big minion wave bottom, and they've sent Don't Mash Me to go farm that one out. Bloodwater gaining XP in mid. Certainly no one's looking for a push just this second.
And they may just be waiting for more item breakpoints, right? Death cap on Jinte will be very huge. He's got about 200 gold left on Orianna before he can be able to afford that one. Nintendo Dex still out farming X-Smithy in the jungle, and he's picked up those boots of mobility, which is what we've seen Crumbs do as well, but has not used them to set up many aggressive or crazy ganks. He's mainly just using them to farm a little bit more. And these teams are fairly contented just farming. I feel like Vulcan might be trying to just stall a little bit and hope Good Game University decides to make some mistakes. Good Game University definitely in a more difficult situation in the context of a season, sitting in dead last in the standings right now, but GGU might be poised to take their second win here. It's just, it's not close yet. They do have a slight edge.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening here. Of course, last time we've seen Kog'Maw sitting in the background, it tended to work pretty well. They got pretty late game. We'll see if that ends up happening here, of course. Zuna's still on that farm train. 173 minions to him. 170 on Don't Mash Me. They're certainly getting themselves toward that late game status. Those AD carries getting themselves a bunch of gold. We see Psycho Sid's Elise with a lot of magic penetration there, so he's going to be looking for damage. Zion Spartan moving his way towards the Gunblade. We see that on Akali's pretty often overall. Death cap is completed on Orianna, so we talk about Orianna's builds quite a bit, but looks like carry Orianna is the choice of the day for Jinte.
I think you're right about that one. I mean, the fact that he's managed to lane against a Lux who is super skill shot reliant without building move speed means he must be like the wizard of dodging light bindings. The fact he hasn't been spiked out with that low move speed this entire time is quite impressive.
And he doesn't even have move speed Quince. He's at that base 325, so seriously just running around successfully. Light binding goes on to Mash Me. He's forced to cleanse it because the combo could have been so brutal against him. damage on that turret, still putting it down a little bit, down to about half. So GGU are making progress down on this lane. Dragon's going to be up in 36 seconds or so. I like how I can see it on the screen and still say the wrong number. I'm good at my job.
Yeah, these guys got to get aggressive soon, Freak. Like, they can't just stand around and farm the whole game. They need to take some initiative. We saw Dignitas in the last game, and when Dignitas is working, they're just on the other team. They're not giving them an inch to go. But GGU and Vulcan are not doing that at all. Right now, they're just sitting around and farming, right? Like, they haven't been able to initiate on each other. They have the tools to do it. You look at Vulcan, Alistair, Lux, Elise, Jarvan, that is so much incredible chase. Good Game University has Akali, Jin Zhao, and Orianna to chase. Like, the disengage is not as strong as the engage in these compositions. I feel like if they do decide to fight, they would be able to do it, and maybe we'll see it here at the 23-minute Dragon fight.
They're certainly looking to try Pink Ward going down in that brush. Vulcan really trying to deny vision here against Good Game University. GGU putting 2 wards down of their own, trying to spot that out. A lot of aggressive wards are there. Vulcan's going to clear out this mid lane wave, push it towards that turret. GGU must respond to this, and look at the damage output on this one now. It's losing a lot of health very, very quickly. Zuna just putting in the basic attacks. Light binding on the Nintendo. He will not be able to initiate until that time's out. The minions, the minions are dead. The turret down to 10%. It might just be one push until those minions are gone. Where will Vulcan go? It looks like it's kind of on them to make moves right now.
Yeah, Vulcan is positioning themselves like they're the ones with the edge. It's so hard to tell what your gold lead is in kind of close games like this when no one's really gotten kill advantages and the farm all looks kind of close at first glance. So Vulcan is now starting on the Dragon and really daring Good Game University to come fight them, or they're just hoping Xsmithy isn't spotted here because their pink ward doesn't see GGU's other wards.
We're just going to check the vision right there, and they do see that Xsmithy is around. Light binding goes off, some slow zones as well. GGU cannot come down, but Xsmithy a bit hurt because of that whole trade. Looks like once again Vulcan will disengage from this one. Zion Spartan on the left-hand side of the screen is nearby the team. The rest of GGU close as well. Oracle's Elixir, Bloodwater does spot those wards are there, but Vulcan are going to scare them back right now. But they know that they can clear this vision out and blind Vulcan in this battle. Pokes going back and forth. Mashmi taking some poke. Zion Spartan is in with the team. Good ults from Zuna putting in some pressure. Psycho Sid's in the front. Zion's looking to engage right here, taking a bit of damage. Mashmi's going to take a whole bunch of burst, and he is gone. And the fight has started. Orianna ult's going to stop Vulcan for now. They're going to flash on forward. They get Jin-Tae, knock him into the air. The slow, the Demacia yell comes out. Jin-Tae taking a bunch of pressure. He's going to fall down. Vulcan picks up 2, and the Dragon is theirs as they want it.
Mandatory Cloud's Lux just evaporating Don't Mash Me there. His cleanse was down, they landed the binding, and they were just fishing for that the entire time. They got it, now they get the Dragon. GGU trying a bit of a counterattack though.
Well, they will get the turret down. He pops Smoke Cloud. Kog'Maw ult does not reveal Akali. He will just simply run away right now. Blue team finally getting the kill up on Dragon. Nice pickup by Psycho Sid. Vulcan looking a lot better than they were a second ago.
That was a good sign for them. Picking off that fight definitely puts the fear into GGU that they can't win a team fight, even though that wasn't a team fight. That was just Vulcan sitting around until Mandatory Cloud was getting...
Or sorry, not...
Well, he stole it from Psycho Sid as they're going in for the initiation. No problem. I made a bit of a slip up earlier myself, so I think we can get away with it.
He stole the blue from the top laner who was just hitting it down for him. I just saw Lux ulting in the blue buff on the right-hand side. I was like, it must be a steal! All right, anyway, continuing on. Xsmithy now in his own jungle, spots out the blue buff. Actually, Zion Spartan is almost like, he's like right there and almost spots Smithy. Was looking for a push.
I gotta say, Freak, Lux ults make you say the darndest things, but Xsmithy flashes over a wall here, and there goes Zion.
Zion's really looking for it. He puffs a lot of damage out on the Ignite, still enough to take the kill. Of course, revealed by the turret, must run away. Psycho Sid will not land that stun. GGU pick up a nice free kill. They are still up 4,000 gold as the thing, so don't let the kill lead fool you. GGU are very good at controlling gold in this map.
And they still have the turret pressure, right? Outer 3 down. At this point, what Dignitas has been doing to win all their games is they're over-warding Vulcan's inside jungle. We've seen it from a lot of the top teams too in Korea. We've seen it from Gambit Gaming. Once they get the outer turrets down, when they look to push, they keep the pressure back and they keep the enemy contained in their base. But Vulcan is doing the best they can to fight this back. They're not letting that happen because they have the team fight strength right now. Zuna successfully skipped Vamp Scepter in his build, so he's got Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer and rushed past Don't Mash Me in damage. So Vulcan might actually be able to counter with some pushes despite having the 3 outer turrets down.
Yeah, we'll see that ends up being the case right here. There's GGU still with a turret lead. It's interesting to see like how everything matches up though, because like I'm still trying to wrap my brain around like where the gold lead is really coming from, because you keep comparing minions and outside of Zion Spartan, basically they're so close to equal here. like the kills are in Vulcan's favor, but I guess it's just GG
Yeah.
with the turrets.
Yeah, it's like 40 for Akali, 30 for Shinzao, and everyone on GGU has more minion kills as well, so it's like maybe 80 minions in total, which at about 20 golds a pop is, what, 1.6k?
Yeah.
Then you consider the turrets, 750 gold apiece. They're up by 2, so that's another 1,500 gold. That's like 3k. It kind of makes a bit of sense, because I think they're up 1 dragon as well.
Yeah, 2 to 1 on dragons, I believe.
Yeah.
So, all right, it just pans out ever so slightly. What if we could like track ward kills properly and be like, oh yeah, this is 25 gold each one, and then anyway.
Soon TM, maybe?
Soon TM. Track ward gold. Man Cloud. Actually, oh, Scumbag Muffin Cutie stole that minion kill from Mandatory Cloud. I'm gonna cry if Man Cloud's like 12 gold away from completing item and can't do it now. Nah, he's at 230. All right. Vulcan on their side of the map right now. GGU on theirs. No major buffs are up. Only Baron Nashor, and I think you'd have to be crazy to go Baron right here. So.
Yeah, especially considering Vulcan has the gold disadvantage, but the poke advantage, and what seems to be the threat advantage, whereas Good Game University is never going to put themselves in the Baron pit against a Lux, right? So it is turning itself into a bit of a standoff, since the team that feels stronger is in a poor position on the map, so they're not able to make any aggressive plays right now.
There we go, Mashpee going a little bit aggressive. The White Binding. Bloodwater getting dropped very, very low. Luxel goes off. Man Cloud getting dropped very, very low. Zion Spartan, it's knocked in the air. Actually cancels his ult, but still finds it. But Zuna finds Zion Spartan. Where's the damage at? But Pinkward goes down onto him. He's trying to run back. Zion Spartan goes down before he gets a double kill. A large kill advantage. Zuna is basically alone here. Tries to shut down some kills and won't get too much. Looks for Jinte. Nope, Sona's going to haste her away, and that's going to be a 5-for-1 Good Game University with a fight.
And so many people are still alive for Good Game University. They could go through for this Baron despite not having war control. After winning that fight, they won it so handily. I think they can take this Baron.
There we go, 29.5 minutes in, and they have started it up. Nintendo, the really only front line here. Mashpee standing close by. He's going to have to trade off with Nintendo, it seems. There we go, Nintendo gets knocked back, and he just goes right back in. Baron down below half health, and no one is even alive yet for Vulcan aside from McSmithy. That is going to be GGU's Baron. 29.5 minutes in, that is a commanding lead.
Yeah, when that fight started for Vulcan, I know what was going through Vulcan's heads, because ManCloud had landed the binding. Let's actually watch this again. ManCloud lands the binding onto Bloodwater at the very start of the fight, and since he'd blown up Ezreal earlier, he thought he's dead. But he's in the W stance, and he has health on support, so the counter initiation gets on Mandatory Cloud since he stood still to cast all those spells. Zion Spartan goes off in here. They kept the Orianna ball on him almost the entire time, so they couldn't focus him down very early, and the rest of GGU just rolled over Vulcan, because Vulcan blew everything on the initial fight for Bloodwater, and they just couldn't get him.
And you just saw that back line, of course, getting shredded out. Poor Zuna left alone at the end. He picked up a kill, but couldn't get more than that. So now Vulcan have to kind of rethink their fight strategy. Maybe don't focus the Sona first. She seems just tanky enough. Big University.
It's the strangest thing with supports freak. Just feeling tanky, especially Sona, because once she got hit by the life binding, she just turned on her Aria of Perseverance, which gave her 12 extra armor and MR on top of the 2,000 health she had, and like, ManCloud didn't inherently think that like Sona would be tankier than Ezreal, but she absolutely was, and it blew all of her spells too easily.
And of course, yeah, just enough MR on her kept her alive. Baron buff, of course, granting attack damage, ability power, and regeneration to this GGU lineup. However, despite that, Vulcan have the presence on the map just enough that the blue buff will still go to Mandatory Cloud. He's finished his death cap, he's got Sork shoes. Certainly the magic pen is coming up pretty soon for ManCloud. Though he failed the kill on Sona, is certainly still on clip for items. Same with Zuna here, who's now looking for a last whisper and still not sinking the 800 gold into a Vampiric Scepter. So Vulcan still does have these focused threats on their team.
And if Mandatory Cloud lands the ult on Don't Mash Me still hasn't built any health or resiliency, so they could still win a fight based off of that.
What do you mean? He has Trinity Force, he's fine.
He'll be fine. He does tons of damage, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's even 300 health, like he's, no worries. 200 health? 250 health. I was close.
You don't know Trinity Force's stats by heart?
I'm sorry.
You haven't slept with like a Trinity Force book of all the extra stats? Be like 8% movement speed, 200.
Well, you keep nerfing it, Riot.
2% crit chance. You're just like memorizing it and stuff. Riot, please. 3 gold cost.
You nerfed it in Season 3. It had so much crit chance on it before. Anyway, here they go, pushing up for that turret. Smithy taking a bit of poke right there. GGU looking very, very strong. The flag toss comes out. Zion Spartan goes in on a man cloud. A nice ult's going to lock up a lot of people. Zion still taking pressure. Sonal comes across everybody. Who's going to die first? It's going to be Jarvan going down. But the counterattack Luxol does a whole heck of a lot of damage. Kog'Maw picks up a few, but it's still like a rampage for Zion Spartan. Only 2 alive here for Vulcan. Mashby wins the duel, and everybody is basically gone except for Muffin QT. GGU wins another fight, 4-1 right here. And Deaddude survives on the turret. GGU, this is their turret completely.
Big win by GGU there. That was all about the initiation, and even though Mandatory Cloud landed the final spark on a lot of GGU, the rest of the team just wasn't there for the follow-up. Psycho Sid was never in the right position. Zuna kind of got trapped in the middle of the fight and wasn't able to hit the things he wanted, and that's an inhibitor that GGU has immediately taken with that Baron buff.
That is pretty brutal here. Vulcan have suddenly lost from a, like a 5-2 kill lead or something pretty decent. Suddenly it is 7-12.
Yeah.
This has been looking great for a while now. GGU University have turned on the pressure, and it's been going well. Zeke's Herald has been completed by Bloodwater, so a lot of life still available. Don't mash me.
And the Runic Bulwark as well. Just the aura items in general are coming out very strong for GGU. So because they have the 30 magic resist aura from the Runic Bulwark, and because Bloodwater has maxed the W Armor and MR aura on Bloodwater, if anyone gets hit by Light Binding, it's an extra 45 magic resist for whatever Mandatory Cloud is trying to spike through, and until Mandatory Cloud catches that Void Staff, I don't think he's actually going to be able to one-shot them, and that's really the only way that Vulcan is able to come out of these fights, is if Mandatory Cloud makes it a 5v4 before it happens. This is a very good position for GGU to be in.
Well, he's looking at Void Staff right now. Hopefully that, for his case, hopefully that will be enough to penetrate through that MR aura stack. Zion Spartan, though, with now a Zhonya's Hourglass, is a pretty tanky guy. Hard to kill off. Oracle's there, of course, bot onto Muffin QT. Definitely is trying to look for that map control, getting it back away from GGU University. Nintendo at the bottom of the map, clearing things out. A little bit Dignitas-esque, pushing the various lanes forward. But if you're Vulcan right now, is it just on the ManCloud 4v5, or can they rely on Zuna?
It's mainly the ManCloud 4v5, and if somehow like they dive in a really bad way, Zuna would be able to come back at them. But just like with how quickly Zion Spartan can kill Zuna, I don't like Zuna's chances right now. He doesn't have any magic resist. The only shields are coming through from Mandatory Cloud, and most of the crowd control that Vulcan can throw at Zion Spartan isn't long enough of a disable to be able to stop him from coming at him. So, especially with the Mercury Treads that Zion Spartan has been building, this is a very, very good situation for GGU.
Alrighty, we'll see if they can close the deal here with the good situation so far. Zuna's still in that bottom lane, but he's not completely alone. He's got 2 friends nearby. He's got a ward on that brush. Nintendo actually pushing in forward, has used his E, and it's going to be Smithy looking for a gank. He puts the slow from his shield. There's the EQ. He lands that. Nintendo going to pop his ult. Zion Spartan comes in. He's going to look for Zuna. Knocked into the air. Zuna yet running backwards. For pretty good reason, of course. There's the counter initiation, though, from GGU University. They're going to find Muffin QT, knocking him into the air. Orianna still looking for pressure. Muffin, his ult's about to time out. Will they get the damage up what they need? Ezreal comes by, clips him in the face. Zion picks up 1. What's going to be next for him? He's under the turret, taking a lot of pressure. Demacia Duck, and he pops Zhonya's. He's alive, actually. And he's going to chase down for the double kill up there. Now Nintendo running back, gets a shield from Orianna just in time. 2-0, and GGU gets out alive.
That was brilliant stuff by Zion Spartan. Also, GGU was taking the top turret while all of that happened, so this is just the split push pressure coming out from GGU as a whole.
And there we go, another kill picked up. They are chaining them together right here. ManCloud, will he find Mashme? Misses the Q, ult up in a few seconds. Will he look for it? Of course, he's spotted by minions, and he's going to whiff that one. Did not know where he went after that retreat. Turret went down, now 8-1 in GGU's favor.
Yeah, Mandatory Cloud took a light shot in the dark right there and came up blank. You know, he's just trying to make a play. They're down 15,000 gold. This game is really getting away from them quickly. And I gotta say, Zion Spartan's play has been extraordinary in this game on Akali. He's back in his zone on these assassin-type champions. Good stuff from GGU. I see they got a timer on Baron. They're going to be wanting to get that pretty quickly, and Vulcan is trapped in their base.
That is a rough situation, of course. They're only 1 inhibitor down. That will respawn. I think it should respawn before...
Yeah, Baron's up right now.
Yeah.
They're going for it.
No, Baron's... Yeah, there it is. It's going to be going down pretty quickly. GGU. He's going to use Ezreal to spot the map while dealing damage to Baron. That's going to be theirs in time. No one's nearby. There it is. 36-53. That is theirs completely. Smithy trying to push the minions out, but as you said, they're pretty much trapped in their base.
And now that it is 1 exposed inhibitor, 1 inhibitor completely down, Baron buff, everybody shopping. I'm expecting Good Game University to go back, get some potential elixirs, or just max their items. They actually get some tankiness. Jinte got a Giant's Belt. There is close to an Infinity Edge on Don't Mash Me, but he's currently deciding what to do with his life, contemplating existence. Gets a Hex Drinker because they're really just going for a final push. He's not worried about the rest of the game. He goes Distortion Boots because who wouldn't want to flash faster when it's already on cooldown? But I think they're going for the end here.
See what they can grab out of this one. Nintendo to the bottom lane. The rest of the team are filing out of the base. All good pushes end with leaving the base. So they've made the first step correctly.
All good pushes do end.
Start with leaving the base. That's what I meant to say.
And every day starts by waking up if you go to sleep first.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my days start by, hey, it's midnight, I'm still awake. But hey, to each their own. Some people go to bed on time. I don't. I'm a gamer. Don't Mash Me. They're pushing in that top lane, getting the minions on their side. Zion Spartan up in the mid. He's been having a phenomenal game, as you mentioned. 8, 3, and 4. A lot of completed items, mostly getting ability power. That or magic resist. Moving on towards the mid laning, Smithy trying to wave clear. Notice that he press his Q, then E, so he doesn't blink forward, but still gets all the damage. Here they go up. Now they are into the mid lane. The inhibitor is back, but that's going to be unprotected. They want this.
Yeah, Vulcan will probably have to fight them either here or at the next inhibitor. It's a desperation fight that they will probably lose, but I feel like they have to try just to prevent giving away the game.
Okay, well, they're going to move on in. Zion Spartan in front. Shirelli is being popped as well. They get that. They dodge the light binding, and now they go on for the top lane. Sona spamming E for the mobility there, trying to get them around the map faster. She has some nice CDR there. 20% or 30%, I forget what Zeke's gives, if it's 10 or 20. Zion Spartan catches the light binding, though. Will they go in on this one? They will not. The Orianna shield prevents them from going in whatsoever. 2 inhibitors for free. Will they go for the third? Will they go for the Nexus?
Looks like they're going for the third inhibitor. Good Game University has not been in this position too many times in this LCS, so they're making sure they take full advantage of it. They still have plenty of time on this Baron buff. They got almost 2 minutes. Even Don't Mash Me is picking up a red buff on the way. They want to take this one slow. They know they're really far ahead, and they're just daring Vulcan to fight them right now.
Well, double dare. We'll see if they do it. If they don't, they're going to, you know. Never mind, looking for a Truth or Dare reference, missed it.
Well, it's like a double dog dare because he's a Void Puppy.
Nice!
Yeah.
You completely dunked me on that one. All right, there we go. Zuna. And if only they had Nast, then it'd be a double dog dare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. Together, with teamwork, we have found the pun that we were looking for. Good Game University. Match, we taking a bit of damage. The Kog'Maw still poking them out, not finding a whole heck of a lot. And GGU still with that Baron regen, as well as the Sona regen, really. They are poking a little bit, keeping their health bars alive. The wave clear is so strong from Vulcan, though, they're really not taking much turret damage yet. It's a successful defense so far. GGU, that turret does really stymie their abilities to run forward. Jinte looking for another clear.
I'm not entirely sure how their base isn't getting mercilessly pushed right now with 2 inhibitors down. The super minions should be getting there soon for Good Game University, but the fact that maybe it's just the massive home guard boots that Vulcan's been able to push up. Usually when you have 2 inhibitors down, the third one falls fairly shortly because there needs to be a full-time defender for Vulcan, but they're doing quite a good job. I feel like this is going to crack at some point. There's GGU.
They push on Nena. Sona will catches 4. Look at the damage output there. All the ults coming across. Who's going to take the damage? It's going to be Bloodwater first. In the back line, though, ManCloud very pressured by Elise. He's going to pop Zonia's as well. Sorry, pressured by Akali. There we go. Nintendo taking a bunch of pain. Vulcan actually still alive. No, Smithy will fall out. Nintendo drops down. Zuna putting out a lot of pressure. Flash. Can he dual Don't Mash Me? No, he cannot. Mash Me will take some damage maybe from the Cog passive. It will be enough. He shuts him down. ManCloud and Psycho Sid are alive. They kept their base. Possibly one turret has died. The bottom lane might be taking some pressure, but yeah, they're putting in some good damage on these minions.
So they held off the push by Good Game University. How hard do they have to work to get their second win and first win of Super Week? They have 2 turrets left on the entire map, and neither of them are very healthy right now. Their inhibitors still need to respawn, and this entire duration of the ace they've just placed on Good Game University is going to be entirely consumed by base defense. They're recklessly trying to keep these things off the turrets.
Oh man, and unfortunately for Vulcan, they did lose their top Nexus turret. Now Nexus turrets do regenerate, so the second one will at least be approaching or at full health when GG returns to the base. I'm also curious to see the timers on inhibitor respawns versus Baron, because Baron's 7 minutes, inhibitors are 2. The inhibitors went down after Baron was taken, so they're going to be kind of similar respawn timers, and I think they need to be up for Vulcan to leave their base. We'll see if they can do that here. Of course, ManCloud Smithy still trying to chunk that down. Zuna has finally bought himself even more damage, going for a second Zeal. Attack speed is the name of the game. He is 8-3-2.
And he's going full glass cannon. Like, this is super dangerous against Zion Spartan. The last fight, they could shut him down because pretty much Vulcan caught everybody in a great just Lux stuff, right?
Yeah.
As well as Alistair pulverized, so they couldn't get through it. It was just Zion Spartan who came there. So everyone who didn't get caught up was able to force the Zonies from Zion Spartan, and everyone else was pretty much just getting screwed down by Kog'Maw. And it's really round 2 here for Good Game University. They're not worried about the next Baron, even though it's probably in about a minute. And they might just try another round, but that last one has got to dissuade them a little bit.
Mashby also down towards the bottom lane. It didn't hit anything with the Ezreal. That was a little weird, but bottom mid is
very weird.
Yeah, he just like, I don't know if he was looking for like a possible counter gank, like to check Fog of War, but he's stolen the blue buff away, so that is not great for ManCloud to lose that buff. But again, they were stuck in their base the whole time. Baron up at 45. Inhibitors coming up in the fairly near future. They're going to go for round 2 on the dive. Sona pops Shirelius. The turret is gone. A nice Lux. Oh, what's going to go down first? Zion Spartan intended in the front. Xmithy and Malvin Cutie drop very, very low. Intended finds 1 kill onto Xmithy. Zion Spartan has popped Zonias. He's going to go down. He flashes back out of this one. He will not. Malvin Cutie has dropped. That is 2 for nothing so far. GGU looking to disengage. Mashby in the front, taking a bunch of pain. Psycho Sid trying to run back. Where's the damage going to be from? It has to be Zuna. What will he get here? Jinte scaring him back a little bit. Minions are now onto the Nexus.
Yeah, Zuna's got to worry about the base, even though there's only 3 people up for his team. They really have to turn something around, but I don't know if they can. There's too many things they have to do damage to.
All right, there we go. Another Lux ult comes back to some, but there's still not much happening. Inhibitors are coming back, but that's okay. The turrets are still dropping lower. Jinte, he will fall down. Zuna finds 1, but here comes Zion Spartan. Zion Spartan destroys his face. Kog'Maw is going to be in passive form. Mashby taking damage. The Nexus still falling down. That will be the Nexus. GGU finds win number 2 in the LCS.
It took them 44 minutes and every single turret on the map, but they did finish this one off. Zion Spartan 8-4-8 on Akali. Well played. They finally must feel that relief of getting that huge loss streak away from themselves. Good stuff by them.
And what just a good turn of events. They had the pressure really for most of the game. They were just always a little bit ahead, a little bit at a time, slowly growing that one. A couple of scares in team fights, but they pulled it out in the end. You just see like relief, like the thumbs up from Nintendo, but that is a relief face for the thumbs up.
Yeah, the more experience they get, the better they'll become at winning these types of games. When they had the advantage early, which they've had through a couple of games so far in the LCS, they took it slow and they were able to come out on top. When they get better, they'll do that faster. That was a really good step in the right direction because, you know, they might appear just to have Vulcan's number. That's the 2nd time they beat them this year.
And that's just, you know, it's interesting to see like how these teams match up because they're not just, oh, I'm a team that's, you know, at this skill level. It's a team with a play style and players with certain tendencies and the teams with certain tendencies. And sometimes they just match up in really, really good ways, right? You know, you talked in the very, very beginning where they had beaten Vulcan, who beat CLG, who beat Dignitas, who beat Curse. Like there's this whole arc of like who beats whom, and a lot of those are just sort of play style matchups. So it's interesting to kind of watch those interplay.
And the coolest thing is, in the past, a lot of times, before teams had the stability of what the LCS is going to provide them, after a team loses a bunch of games in a row, they're just going to disband. But this season we've seen like Vulcan, Marn, and hopefully Good Game University soon, even Complexity have been struggling a lot, but because they have kind of gaming houses intact and they've become good friends with each other, they have the chance and the time to improve on some of these things, and they're staying together and they're working on it, which could really be a good thing for the scene in the long run.
Yeah, we're not even halfway done with this split, so you could see the records completely flop around from the first half so far. 40% of the way through the first split so far after this game, and of course we've got more action overall. After the break, we're going to talk to both Zion Spartan and Don't Mash Me from GGU. Then we'll see where all of our teams stand at the end of the week. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, and I am pleased to be joined with Zion Spartan and Don't Mash Me of Good Game University. They've just come away with their second victory of the season. Now, you guys have had a tough season so far. What have you done to get this win that you weren't doing when you had all your unfortunate losses?
Me personally, I worked out in the morning at the Sheraton Hotel so I can carry my teammates.
What about you, Zion?
Well, I really looked at analyzed my mistakes. What I did was I just kept making aggressive plays and wouldn't really play safe, and
Okay.
I kind of really reeled in my aggression and try to counter aggress instead of only be aggressive, and that way I wouldn't make dumb plays and I was able to carry my team to victory.
Yeah, because watching that game, you guys were taking it really slow. You were out farming Vulcan for most of the game. Did you guys realize you had a 5,000 or 6,000 gold edge around that first dragon fight? It was actually the dragon fight where you got caught by Lux. Did you realize you were up for a fair bit there?
Yeah, I think I was out CSing Zuna by 20-30, not too much.
Okay.
But yeah, I knew we were ahead at all times. We had the stronger team fight. It's just the pressure you feel. That's why we forced the dragons and such.
Okay, so when you guys are up like that, what are your motives and how do you actually decide to end the game? Because it did take quite a while for you guys to actually show your advantage over Vulcan in that game.
Just slowly poke. That's why I picked Ezreal, something safe. And we had the Ori ball, so whenever they got caught out of position, we just feel the need that, oh, let's initiate, let's go. And yeah, that's how we slowly do it.
Awesome.
As soon as I got my hourglass, I knew that I could just go in, Orianna could ult, and I just hourglass, and then their whole team would crumple under the AoE.
Nice. So you also picked Akali in this game. You've been playing a lot of Fizz lately this weekend as well. What do you like about see a bit of a laugh by Don't Mash Me? Have you shied away from the Fizz picks in the future? Are you going to be playing more Akali? How's your champion pool kind of rounding itself out?
I just love to play assassins. I hate playing the tanky meta, build health and stuff. Playing assassins is just so much more fun, and you have potential to carry top. A lot of the champions other people play, like Hotshot, he'll play Malphite and Cho'Gath. He's just being the front line for double if to carry. But when I play Akali and Fizz and stuff, I'll have a chance to carry. I still need to work on that Fizz though.
Awesome. A little bit of work. You'll land a few more ults in the future. As a team, though, because you guys have had the roster shakeups, and I know Don't Mash Me has tweeted about not using Shifter as an excuse, right? What are you guys doing, and how is the team molding itself? What are some teams? I'm screwing up this question a little bit. Some teams, like COG, as you said, are all about protecting double lift. Are you guys a split carry focus? Are you a protect don't mash me focus? Are you Zion Spartan carries top focus? How is it trying to develop?
I feel we're focused on all of us carrying because we're just by nature an aggressive team, and we just go really hard, and when we put our aggression into more practiced aggression, we'll just become a really fearsome team, and that's what we need to work on to be able to round out our team.
How do you think you get to that point? How do you become more aggressive?
Basically, the aggression is there, but what's not there is when to be aggressive. I was saying earlier, aggression is important, but what's even more important is counter-aggression. You see their jungler in a ward bottom, and you know you can win the trade, then you start going all out. But you can't just go all out all the time, because then you can get yourself in risky situations, when you don't know where the jungler is and stuff like that.
Awesome. So now, after Crazy Super Week, where you guys played 5 games, you got about 2 weeks off before you go to MLG Dallas. Is there anything particular you're going to do to practice in the 2 weeks? Are you guys taking any kind of breaks? Are you going to try to develop more strategies? How's it going to work?
In our situation, practice a lot more, definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody, including me. And shout out to Cherry and happy birthday, Foxy.
Well, I got a couple more questions for you. Don't mash me. But
okay.
Thanks for the shout-outs on this one. Your champion pool, you were talking earlier.
Yeah.
You said you won. First thing you said, it's because I picked Ezreal.
Yeah.
Why do you like Ezreal, and are you away from Twitch now?
It's just safe pick. Sometimes, like last game, I got camped so much. That's why I had to pick Ezreal instead of picking a hyper carry like Kog'Maw or something. I stray away from hyper carries lately because I keep getting camped or I don't know. It's just the rough. They always try to counter pick in general against me.
All right. So this is the final question I got for you guys. Are you in a gaming house yet? Are you moved in? Are you settled like the rest of the teams, or how's that working out for you?
We're currently looking for a gaming house. Mash Me and Nintendude will move in, and Bloodwater will visit occasionally, but me and Shifter are still going to school, so
okay.
We might have a gaming house, but we won't have all 5 players into it for at least the first half of this season.
All right, awesome. Thanks for the interview. Don't Mash Me and Zion Spartan, of course, of Good Game University. They just came away with their 2nd win of the LCS. They will be hoping to carry that momentum through to MLG Dallas in the next week. Ezreal picks coming out strong. Akali picks coming out strong. The aggression wants to come in. But we have some of the top plays of the day by Kobe24 about to be presented on the Telestrator. Let's send it over to him.
Thanks, guys. I'm back again, and I've got an action-packed team fight here for you from Dignitas versus Marn, where Dignitas really come ahead in the game, and they just snowball the entire game from there. So you can see at the beginning, Elise down here on the minimap really far away from the Dragon Pit, and as well, Diana's all far away. But Dignitas want to take advantage of Tristana's weak mid game, so they don't want to give up the Dragon for free, and Crumbs is going to come right in here to try and steal the Dragon. And then Patoy will come around, try and run defense for him, use his CC to delay Team Marn until the rest of Dignitas can get there. All right, let's run this at full speed. Here goes Crumbs. Doesn't get the Dragon steal, but he does pretty good job. Let's pause it one more time. All right, Patoy, he just used his CC here. You can see he locked up Marn, Echo, and Atomic. Skara has his eyes on them. He wants to dive right in onto those squishies, so he's going to Crescent Strike right in there. And I'm a Cutie Pie, the third member of Dignitas, is coming around. He has a lot of damage. He wants to help out here. So he's going to come try and take down Claky D. Crumbs, he just missed his smite. He got exhausted. He needs to get out of there as quickly as possible. So let's run this at 50% speed. All right, here we go. There comes the crescendo from Atomic. Really nicely played. Let's pause it one more time. All right, so we see Tristana uses Rocket Jump onto Cutie Pie, but Cutie Pie immediately barriers. He's going to block a lot of that damage. Really good job by him. And Crumbs barely got out of that crescendo, so let's rewind it again at 25%. You can see he barely misses this crescendo. Almost got it with our Atomic. Pause one more time. All right. Now, Patoy's going to back off after he just tried to save them. So with Crumbs getting out, we're going to have him get chased by Claky D, and they want to finish this one off. Let's run it again at 50% speed. Here we go. The crescendo does hit. There's the jump onto Cutie Pie, but he's going to be able to get away after Claky has that knock-up. Pause it one more time. Crumbs chases Claky D down. He wants to finish him off, but Claky's going to turn right around, kill Crumbs. Thank goodness for Dignitas. We've got the spider up in the top, so he'll clean that up. And Cutie Pie is going to be the real one to watch the rest of this team fight. He gets away from Mega Zero by using his dash and then flash right up here, and he'll turn back around to add a bunch of damage on the rest of this. All right, let's play it again, full speed. There goes the execute. They answer it with one more kill, and Cutie Pie, he answers rockets. You see how low his health and mana are? Well, he survives this whole fight. Attack, move, it's orb walking. He finished off 2 more people. Mega Zero's not going to get the kill either. Great job by Cutie Pie, and they just use that to snowball the entirety of the rest of that game. Let's send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kobe. We've now reached the end of Week 4 in North American LCS, so here's where the teams currently stand. Dignitas are in first place at the end of Week 4 at 10-2. Cursed down to second. They lost the undefeated streak 9-2 them. CLG and TSM tied for third at 7-4. Marn at 4-5 right on their heels. Vulcan 4-9. GGU finally up for the bottom 2-10. Complexity 1-8.
And after Super Week, as we expected, the standings are so much different. Dignitas, really the huge winners of this week. Marn, huge surprise, but at 10-2, #1 team in North America, and I think they're becoming globally feared.
Yeah, Dignitas have looked so amazing after that one. And of course, with Super Week, it's time for a Super MVP. For helping his team get first place this week by absolutely rolling the mid lane, we've picked Skara from Team Dignitas, our MVP there.
Yeah, and the crazy thing here is 23 kills, 3 deaths, and 26 assists the entire game. An unreal record in that. His 16.3 KDA in Week 4 was just absolutely crazy. 418 gold per minute is incredibly high as well. He just crushed the entire week. Mid lane, top lane, jungle, everything for Dignitas was working great.
Yeah, absolutely an amazing play. And because of that, because the entire team did amazingly, honorable mention goes to Kiwi Kid for being the first top laner to actually beat Voyboy straight up. And Cop with an incredible 25 KDA this week, doing amazingly for Curse, despite 2 losses in the week. Still a great score.
Yeah, I mean, Skara is the first repeat MVP we've had in the North American LCS, but like League of Legends often, it's very much a team game. It's just so close for those guys, and everyone is performing. Without the other guys, Skara wouldn't be able to be as aggressive in mid lane and pick up that many kills.
Yeah, so of course, big shout out to Dignitas. Now, of course, Super Week continues in Europe on Saturday, where we have 6 big games coming up. That day starts off with Fnatic versus Copenhagen Wolves. After that, Evil Geniuses battles against All Authority. Dignitas takes on Gambit.
Fnatic takes on Gambit, but
What?
then...
What did I say?
You said Dignitas, but it's okay. Then Giants face off against Dragonborns, followed by SK Gaming versus the Copenhagen Wolves, and finally, it will be Gambit versus Against All Authority. It all starts Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. Central European Time.
Now, guys, I have some bad news. Don't get too upset, but next week the North American LCS will take a break. I know I'll miss you too, but I gotta say, chat, I'm gonna miss you the most of all.
But the good news is, in 2 weeks, we'll be visiting the MLG Winter Championship live from Dallas, Texas, where the teams will be playing a set of 12 games over the weekend. Be sure to go to lolesports.com to get all the details. You won't want to miss it.
And of course, we can't wait to see you there. I'm Freak, and on behalf of Jat, Riv, Kobe24, and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at MLG.
Still get the damage down the sapling to run it. Oh, it gets him. Touchdown.
I think there's skill potential on Zen.
Going on Ori, going on Ori.
Who's that? That's
I don't know, GG, fucking GG. Good job, guys.
We never plan on doing this at all.
Just fucking stay here and hit this. He started.
To find it, double kill for this Corky. Cutie Pie will survive that encounter. That is an ace for Dignitas with only 2 deaths.